Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your May 2024 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, source with me in front of us, it's Celtic Crossbred as always, and I also pulled 4 agreements and Wisdom Oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology eyes we have in front of us, getting an idea of where you folks should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have 10, and 10th house energy for you guys is Cancer. Astrologically speaking, that area of the zodiac is a little quiet right now, but in general, 10th house points to career and social status, so you might have some focus on an area of life this month. Alright, we have Pluto, and Pluto recently moved into your 5th house of romance, creativity, children. It will be in retrograde for, I think, most of May, actually. And we have Taurus. So, of course, for the first few weeks of May, we'll be in Taurus season. So, yeah, the sun will be there. We'll have a new moon there as well. Uranus and Jupiter have been there for a while. Let's see, Venus will be there for the first few weeks. Mercury will move in there around the middle of the month. So, there's going to be tons of energy moving through Taurus for sure. So, it makes sense to see that pop up for you guys. But yeah, that's 8th house energy for you guys, which points to death, rebirth, and intimacy. All right, so we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Page of Wands, and challenging that, we have the Knight of Swords. So this is actually a Gemini energy here, and seeing these two energies, what I'm feeling like, it could be a couple different things. One thing that comes to mind is maybe you're having a little bit of a struggle between how something plays out in your head versus how it actually plays out in reality, right? So it might be one of those things where, like, okay, you plan something out, you can feel like you got it all figured out, and then when you go out to actually do it, it doesn't play out quite as you'd hoped it would, right? That's one way I could see it playing out for some of you. For others of you, it could just be one of those things where maybe you want to get out and do some exploration, right? Maybe take some kind of a trip or something, but you might find yourselves overthinking it to where you end up stuck in the same place. So be a couple different ways that energy is playing out. And either way, I feel like that could at least be partially attributed to the fact that we still have Mercury retrograde at the time I'm recording this, and even though it'll wrap up in May, we'll still have the post-shadow period for a couple weeks. So could be at least partially what's at play there. All right, in foundation position, we have the Two of Cups. So this is Cancer energy here, which is your 10th house, which we saw come out in the dice as well. So let's think of it another way. It could just be saying that maybe you have a lot of technical know-how around the situation, but maybe the communication part is something that you struggle with, right? So you might be like, okay, I have all the skills in the world, but I might struggle with marketing those skills, right? So this could be one of those things where, like, all right, well, maybe I need to partner up with someone who's good at the marketing angle of things to actually help put out the word as far as what I'm capable of doing, right? And then that'll help benefit both sides in that regard. So that could be something you're looking at. And of course, with semi-maybe this is also the desire to connect with someone on a one-to-one basis, and maybe a more romantic level too. Right. In the past position, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So for some of you, maybe this is something that you've already tried before. At the very least, you gave some consideration to trying something like that. So like I said, if it was something like we mentioned before, where you maybe have all kinds of skills in a certain area, but you can't necessarily market them in a productive way. So maybe you're like, oh, maybe I could just reach out to someone who could put some advertisements together for me or something like that, right? But for whatever reason, you might have pulled back from doing so at the time. Or maybe you're halfway in, right? So you're like, oh, maybe I'll put a little bit toward it, but not fully invested in it, not fully believing in it at the time. But yeah, given that this is 12th house energy for you guys, at the very least, I feel like this is saying that you were thinking about it. You might not have just taken action on it. All right, in the present position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is Capricorn energy here. And at the very least, the positive here is that it would show signs of growth, right? Going from the Knight in the past to the Queen in the present. But yeah, maybe this is, again, like I said, for those of you who want to explore, but maybe you might talk yourselves out of it, right? Maybe like, oh, it'd be very wasteful to take this vacation or something like that, right? But it keeps popping up in your head, like, yeah, I really feel pulled to go to this place, right? Which you're like, oh, I don't know, I might be a little irresponsible, it'd be very expensive, things along those lines, right? It could just be one of those things where because you're holding yourselves a little bit more back and showing some restraint, it's like, okay, so maybe you're still seeing your money increase, but you're like, okay, but at the same time, what's the point of having it if I'm not doing anything with it, right? So you could just be feeling a little bit of internal struggle around that at this time. All right, and in your future position, we have the Hierophant. So this is actually the major arcana card for tarot. For Taurus, rather. And given that that came up in your dice as well, and there's going to be tons of Taurus energy that we talked about with the astrology, this could just be saying that as we move through Taurus season, you might actually get some guidance on the best way forward around the situation. It could just come through maybe not your more traditional means as far as a one-to-one conversation. Maybe it's just some kind of sign you might get, or maybe something comes to you in a dream and you realize, okay, actually, yeah, that might be the key that I was looking for. Well, no pun intended, because there's a key also on the card. But yeah, something might just click for you guys this month. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, this is Taurus energy here as well. And what this could just be saying is, let's say it goes back to the thing where, like I said, maybe you feel like, oh, it might be wasteful. You might feel guilty to splurge on some vacation or something like that, right? Maybe you find a way to where you say, okay, well, maybe I could alleviate some of that feeling if I were to give some money to charity as well, right? So, like, all right, instead of like I don't know, $2,000 vacation, I do like a $1,500 vacation and give some to charity or something like that, right? So you find like some kind of a compromise where, like, okay, that way I won't feel guilty about, oh, and these times, I'd feel bad about going out and enjoying myself. It might feel wasteful, right? So you might find some way to balance those two things out to where you could get the best of both worlds. But if not that, again, like I said, it could just be your desire to partner up in some way. So, like I said, maybe because you might see that you have certain strengths, but you also are aware of your weaknesses and you see other people that might excel in those areas, and like, oh, maybe we could find some way to work out a deal that works best for both sides, right? So that could be something that's on your mind this month as well. All right, in the environment position, we have the Two of Swords. So yeah, to me, again, this is looking like a lot of you are denying yourselves in some way. And the reason I say that is because the moon and the water are both symbols of emotions, and then we see the back turned on those, the arms crossed over the heart, right, which could also point to emotions, and then the blindfold on, to me, is a sign of trying to rely strictly on intellect, right? So, like I said, if you're feeling this emotional pull to do something, whether it be take a trip or buy something, right, that maybe you wouldn't normally have bought for yourself because you might have viewed, oh, that might be a little bit wasteful, but you just keep feeling this pull to do something like that. But then you like try to intellectualize yourself out of the decision, right? But you could just feel like it's still bothering you. The thought keeps coming up. So you're like, I don't know what to do here. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Four of Pentacles. So yeah, I feel like for a lot of you, this could be a fear, right? Saying that you might fear that if you aren't responsible around the situation, you might feel like it's going to set you back, right? So you could feel like, all right, well, I need to try to hold on. Or quite frankly, for some of you might fear that you're not going to be able to come out of that energy, right? So for some of you, this could be something that you might have learned from your early upbringing, right? So maybe if growing up you guys had gone through some tough times financially, you might have thought that, okay, I always have to be prepared for that rainy day, right? But could just be saying, well, if the signs in your current reality aren't like that anymore, and everything within you just keeps pulling you toward doing something, then it could just be saying, well, at least maybe you need to find some middle ground to where you could do a little bit of both, right? And in the outcome position, we have the Hanged Man. So yeah, usually I view this as Pisces energy, but again, like I said, it looks like you're still going to be thinking the situation through, right? Like I said, I feel like you really are trying to be thorough about it, and I feel like you're coming from a good place with it, but it's just a matter of where you just keep feeling this pull towards something, but at the same time, it seems like you're able to always talk yourself out of actually doing it. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Death card. So this is actually Scorpio energy. So for some of you, this might really come to a head when we have that Scorpio full moon. That hasn't happened yet at the time I'm recording this. It hasn't happened yet anyway. So if you're physically watching this in May, it would have happened already. But yeah, for those of you watching this as soon as I post it, we haven't had that full moon in Scorpio yet. So for some of you, that could be where you really feel this energy come to the forefront. But this is also for you guys a second house thing too. So again, it could be tied to your finances and maybe some attitudes that you might have held toward your finances that you might be leaving behind this month. Right, moving on to your 4 agreements card, we have don't take anything personally. And it says, your truth is personal to you. Right? It says, your own opinions and point of view reflect your own agreements and are personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours. So definitely a good message there, right? Because ultimately that could just be saying to really pay more attention to your inner voice, right? So try to figure out, like, are these thoughts that I have that are holding me back from doing something, are they truly mine? Or are they something I learned early in life, right? Or something I even might have learned from a quote unquote mentor, but I feel just doesn't fit with me anymore, right? So it could just be one of those things where you have to really look at that and see what's really your voice versus the voice of others that's just been kind of pushed onto you. Right. And from the Wisdom Oracle, we have Loyal Heart. There's the artwork, and the number is 35. So we'll see what this has to say. All right, essential meanings. It says fidelity, loyalty, devotion. The Oracle's message. Evidence of loyalty will appear in your life. Others will prove they are faithful to you, and you in turn will commit fully to them. There is a sure and abiding certainty in your heart. Know that Spirit is always loyal to you. No matter the outer circumstances in your life, trust and have faith, for you are eternally loved, always divinely protected, and divinely directed. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, and that makes me think of what we were talking about with the Hierophant in the near future, where I was saying you might start to get some signs and synchronicities that point the way for you. The relationship message says your partnerships, friendships, and romantic relationships all have many qualities in common right now. Honest devotion, faithfulness, and a loyal heart are being shown to you. Are you as loyal in return? Now is the time for heartfelt commitments and trusting in divine protection. So yeah, definitely a positive message there. I will say, at the very least, for the majority of you, it doesn't seem like you're involved at this time. There might be someone that you're interested in, but like I said, maybe it seems like even if that's the case, there could just be some way you talk yourselves out of actually moving forward with the connection at this time. But hopefully that message resonated. The prosperity message says your long-term loyalty to your goals is becoming evident in a world of conditions where your aspirations for success assume form and reality. Success is finally taking shape. If you are loyal to your dreams, faithful to your plans, while remaining flexible and devoted to serving others, you will be shown proof of your true prosperity. This is a time for a joyful celebration of Spirit, your manifesting partner. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, especially when I talked about Spirit, your manifesting partner, because like I said, it does seem like there's going to be some kind of switch that's hit for you guys this month with all those energies moving through Taurus that's going to really help you figure out the next, or I should say the best way forward around the situation. But hopefully that resonated for you guys. We're up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.